Hey guys, Sam and Evan here outside of Jordan-Hare Stadium, where Auburn just dropped a 20-13 loss to Georgia. Coming into this game, we kind of thought Auburn had a chance to pull out this win, get up to 6, and then get another 7th win against Idaho. And from the first possession, it looked like they might do that. They drove down the field 75 yards in 11 plays. Kerryon Johnson scored his second touchdown of his career. Auburn went up 7-0, but from that point on, the offense didn't do much of anything.
No, definitely not. And you keep the momentum going. The defense on Georgia's second possession, they drive down there. It looks like they're about to score to tie the game. The defense holds 3 consecutive plays inside the 2-yard line, so they've got momentum. You figure the offense has a little momentum. And then it just all seemed to go away. And then by the second half, the offense was as out of sync as we've seen them all year. The first 6 second-half possessions for the offense, the first 4 were punts, and the last 2 were fumbles. And then the technical last possession of the game was Daniel Carlson's field goal with like a minute and a half remaining that ended up, did not matter with the final score. But just like I said, the offense in the second half just totally inept, probably the worst we've seen them this year.
Yeah, Jeremy Johnson, after starting against Texas A&M and putting in probably his best game of the season, actually, it was his best game of the season. He started again today. He didn't look anything like the guy who came back last week. He was skittish. He didn't really know what he was doing back in the pocket. He did a lot of flat screens and little short routes to just try and get the ball movement. The coaches didn't have much confidence in him at all to throw down the field. And they had this predetermined game plan ahead of time to rotate Johnson and Sean White in and out throughout the game. And they did that regardless of Sean White's health, who clearly wasn't at 100%. Gus Malzahn said so after the game. White came in a few plays here and there. One possession he came in, went 3 and out, 3 straight incomplete passes. He was clearly hobbling, wasn't the same guy that he was earlier in the season. And then Johnson came in. He kind of reverted back to his old habits of throwing bad interceptions. The one he threw today was a ball that just sailed on him way over Tony Stevens, right to the Georgia defender. And they never really got in sync. The running game did do well. They ran for over 250 yards or so. No, almost 215. But Javon Robinson continued his strong games. Peyton Barber did some work here and there. But after doing so well in the first half with that, they just abandoned it and tried to start throwing the ball. Yeah,
you talked about how poorly Jeremy played, and the sad thing is he might have been Auburn's best quarterback today. Sean White was 1 for 5 for 1 yard today on the stat sheet. And when the offense, they were trying to rotate in and out in the second half, and just like you said, couldn't get any rhythm going. But also, like you said, they just totally left the running game. The running game on that first drive that we talked about ran for 56 yards down the field, punched it in the end zone, and then it seemed like Auburn left it for the rest of the game and was trying to be balanced. But like you said, they were all short passes. They didn't trust Jeremy down the field. And I found that especially odd in the last couple of minutes on Auburn's last few possessions. You're down 2 possessions with a couple of minutes left. You're trying to get back in the game, and you're running the ball up the middle, and you're throwing screen passes out to the right, and getting tackled inbounds. The clock's running. Just really bad play calling there at the end of the game. Really bad clock management. But like you said, when you put yourself in a position to be in that position throughout the game with poor play, that's what happens.
Yeah, it's pretty clear they're limited by what they've got at quarterback right now. When they had Nick Marshall, they were able to open up the playbook and spread the field. They're just not able to do that right now with Jeremy Johnson and Sean White. On the other hand, the defense played its best game of the season by far. They allowed the lowest amount of total yardage that they have since the Florida game in 2011, which was like 280-something. Today they allowed like 215. And yeah, they were stopping Georgia on every front. The running game couldn't really get anywhere. They held Lambert in check. They couldn't really let anything past them. Georgia couldn't get anything going, but then they couldn't get bailed out by the offense. They just couldn't get anything turned around at all.
Yeah, it seemed like the whole second half the defense was playing on their own side of the field, because the offense couldn't get anything going, and Georgia definitely won the field position in the second half. There's no doubt about that. Like I said, it just seemed like the defense was playing with their backs against the wall. But I thought they performed admirably, considering the circumstances and considering how long they had to stay on the field with the offensive struggles. And then lastly, you had the special teams, which for the most part was decent. Yeah, Daniel Carlson set an Auburn record today with his 14th consecutive made field goal on the year. But on the other hand, they give up what ended up being the game-winning touchdown to Georgia on a 53-yard punt return to Isaiah McKenzie with about 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter that, like I said, ended up being the game-winning touchdown. So, balanced special teams performance. You could say good defense, really bad offense, 20-13 loss.
Yeah. Kind of a lackluster performance all around. A lot of the people were expecting a bounce-back game, especially considering the downhill year that Georgia's kind of had. But a missed opportunity, more or less, for Auburn. Next week they'll host Idaho here again. That's going to be their best shot to get a 6th win. Looking at Bama 2 weeks from now, beating them is going to be a nigh impossible task. So they've got to beat Idaho next week to get bowl eligible. And then I guess we'll just see what happens in the Iron Bowl. So until next week, I'm Sam, this is Evan, and we'll see you.